What is up, everyone? I'm going to take these off because I'm using my other mic, but I was trying to get my soundboard working. My soundboard isn't coming up, so that's that. I'm going to turn this just a little bit this way. There we go. All right. So I see we got two of you in here so far. How's it going? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up in chat or something. Let me know you're here. I'd appreciate that. Let me see. Heyo. There we go. So, yeah, here we go. Gonna talk a little bit tonight about some heat sinks. We're gonna do some giveaways. We're gonna do some stuff like that. So it's gonna cap it right at an hour. So right at an hour, we're gonna turn the stream off. So I'm gonna get some things set up over here. You can't see what I'm doing because it's not on my screen, but that's all right. Go ahead and pull some things up for you guys that are curious. This is where I get the giveaway stuff. It's from Bitcoin Well. They're generous and they give us spins to win some stuff. So I'm getting that all logged in. You'll have to forgive me that I'm kind of doing this all last minute. Usually I try to prepare everything ahead of time, but I had to work today and it was a busy day and I didn't get out till late. You know how the fiat mines are. And yeah. So a little tied up today. A little tied up. What's going on with this? Looking at some news. Oof. Okay. All right, cool. Got that set up. Over here and ready to go. All right. We'll do the first spin here in a couple minutes. Once we hit about 10 or so people in the room, I'll go ahead and I'll pop it so we can do our first we'll do our first giveaway. We're going to do 4 rolls tonight, so give everybody a chance to win 4 times. All right. And let me see here. What else do we got? We're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about heat sinks. We're going to talk about some other little things that have been popping up in the news and just kind of, you know, shoot the crap a little bit. We'll do it that way. So, got that rolling. Let me make sure I've got all my folks on here that can see the link. The linky. So, all right. If anybody has any news, if you got anything that's popped up lately in the news that you want to talk about, bring it up. Let's see what we got going. So, let me share this out there right now. It's already out there. All right, good. All right, cool. So, let me get my stuff over here. I'm going to roll over real quick and grab some of this stuff. Dropping things. Ugh. All right. So I was able to get my hands on a El Mirage and get my hands on a Dark Horse. Those are the two new heat sinks that have hit the market. Dark Horse being from the guys at Solo Satoshi, and El Mirage being from the guys at Ixtech. Let me go ahead and we'll talk about the Solo Satoshi first. Let me go ahead and pull that up for y'all so you can see my screen. There it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and actually move this down a little bit. I want you guys to be able to see the whole thing without looking at my face. There we go. Okay, I made myself go away. That's what I wanted to do. So, okay, so anyway, over at the solosatoshi.com website, all right, we got 10 people, so I'll do the first roll in a minute here. If you all can give me just a hello in chat or a hey or a what's up or a GFY or something, just so I know that you guys can hear me, I'd appreciate it. So, we'll be talking about this a little bit. The Solo Satoshi Dark Horse heatsink. Now, right off the bat, one of the things that I really, really love about this design is the pop-in caps, the pop-in holders, these spring-loaded holders. I like them so much better than putting a screw in there, because number one, it's going to keep it nice and tight, but it's going to do it with some cushion, a little bit of cushion, so it like you can't over crank one side, like if you're screwing things in and putting a screw in there. So I do like that. I can just pop those in. They're also a lot easier to get in and out if you need to. Not that you really need to do that much, but if you did, you could. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, here we go. That's the picture I'm looking for. The nice, clean, smooth base. Okay. That's obviously essential for a heatsink. You need the contact surface needs to be nice and flat and non-porous and just able to make a good even connection, right? So we got that. They also give you some thermal paste when they send it to you. They give you a little tube of thermal paste. I'm not sure what kind it is. I'll have to take a look. Let me see what it is. Well, it does not say, but they do give you a little syringe of thermal paste, so that's nice, as well as an extra connector. I think they give you the 3-pin and the 4-pin fan connectors, so that way you can, depending on what type of bit axe you have, whatever type of board you have, you can go ahead and attach your fan properly. So it does come with the stock fan. It has the little anarchy symbol on it that Solo Satoshi puts on their stuff, so that's pretty cool. And right off the bat, here, let me see here. I want to see if they've got... There it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So I was doing mine at 625, 1250 is where I was testing at. Okay, so I'm going to put this right there. This is what they say their testing is coming in at from their benchmarks. They're saying I didn't do a dB check, so I'm not too sure about that. But... ASIC was coming in at 71 for them. Mine was coming in lower than that. Mine was coming in the mid-60s. I'm sorry. VR. I'm looking at the voltage regulator. I had them backwards. So, voltage regulator was not that hot for mine. It was in the lower 60s. And the ASIC temperature was at about between 56 and 58 is where it hovered. And yeah, I was pulling about almost 1.3 terahash. So that's cool. Hey JB. So yeah, I was pulling almost real close to 1.3. So numbers are pretty accurate for that. But that's what I ran it for 24 hours on that. And that's what we got. So just at about 24 hours. And then I removed it because I'm putting it on a different a different bit axe because I want to test something else with a different bit axe. I'm testing different boards I got from different manufacturers and different heat sinks, so I'm trying it out. You guys may hear my dogs going crazy in the background eventually, just so you know, because our puppy Dougie, he's kind of like, I don't know, he's just being a little spastic tonight. So if you hear the loud barking and stuff, my dogs are fine. They're just nuts. So okay, so that I would say that's pretty accurate. That's what I tested it at. I did not do any overclocking, anything like that. I just wanted to see how it was. So they're saying, let's see here. Fan speed, the dB was like 46. I didn't dB check it. I honestly didn't, because my stuff runs fairly quiet, so that really doesn't bother me. Yeah, automatic fan control was on. Again, the dB, I can't do anything with that. I can't compare. 80% rule. I was not using a Meanwell. I was just plugged in because I was not overclocking that unit or anything, and it's just one of my tester units. And then, so yeah, liked that, came in good. And they give you little directions right here how to install it. It really is simple, guys, because of those pins that we talked about. Like, it's, you just, the one of the easiest ways to break a bit axe if you're doing mods on it or changing things out is to crank down the heatsink and damage your chip or damage the seat of the chip. So you don't want to do that, and it's so easy to do. And not that you can't do it with this. You can obviously always do it with anything you're putting on top of it, but you're less likely to with the little push pins, these little plastic and spring push pins. I love those things. So, and like I said, I could pop it right off without a hassle, and I can put it on. I got to take it off and put it on something else because I am going to do something else with it. So, yeah. So overall, Is it worth $6.99 to put it on to my onto my Gamma? Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. I would say that this is a buy. That is definitely if you've got a Gamma and you're comfortable with doing the upgrade, which it's really not hard, I promise you. This is a no-brainer putting a new heatsink on. Okay, so definitely worth it. Now, let's jump over to the other one that I got. Okay, and that's this one here, El Mirage. Okay, looks a little funky, right? It's got the cool little wave going in it there, and so different style than your Dark Horse. Dark Horse is pins. Okay, they're pins. El Mirage is blades. There we go. They're blades, right? So, hey, Dragon Mining. Hey, Mike. Okay, 25 people. Hey, guys, in 1 minute, I'll do the first drawing. So get your phones ready to scan and win, okay? Oops, wrong button. Where is it? Where we go? Awards. So, yeah. So, Mirage, you know what? Before we even talk about the Mirage, we're going to do the first giveaway, okay? So, let me go over here. Let me get into the right place. All right. Here we go. We're going to do the first one. You guys ready? You got your phones ready? Remember, you got to scan the QR code, and then the first one that registers it wins the prize, okay? So, if you win it and you're comfortable saying you won it, you can please post in chat. Great. You are not obligated to do that. If you try to scan it and it comes up as it's been used, okay, that means somebody else won it. So if you see that, please just post like, yeah, it's been used, it's been won. So, okay, here we go. First spin coming up. And go. Grab it. 472 sats. I know that's not a hell of a lot of money, but it's free sats, right? One day they're going to be worth more than tomorrow. They'll be worth more than they were today. So, cool. I hope good luck to you all. Congratulations to whoever wins it. I'm going to leave it up for about another minute, and then we're going to talk about El Mirage because I really enjoyed playing with this little heatsink. It's amazing how. Hey, congrats, Mike. All right, Mike is the winner. Okay, guys, we're going to go over the rules for this again real quick, just so you all know. My rules for the drawings, okay? Number one, it is okay to click to go every time, okay? There's nothing saying that you cannot. I'm not saying that once you win, you cannot win for the rest of the drawings, okay? If you decide, you know what, I've won, I'm going to sit the next one out, fantastic. That's just you being a nice person, no problem. But not required. You guys, everyone has an equal opportunity every single time, okay? Just proof of work. That's all it is, proof of work. So go ahead and you guys can try each time. Just because you won does not mean you're not allowed to win again, all right? And number two, I just ask that someone lets us know it's used so that way I can go ahead and continue on with the talks. So that's it. That's the rules, all right? And, of course, please have fun. And bring up topics and comments and everything in the chat because I am watching chat actively. That's why you see me looking this way instead of at the camera. It's because I'm looking at chat. And I just want to make sure y'all are, enjoying that. So let's go back to what we were talking about. We just finished our portion where we talked about the Dark Horse. Dark Horse's pins versus blades style of the heatsink. And anytime, Mike, man, I appreciate you always coming out and supporting, bro. Yeah, so blade style, it's got this really cool artsy design to it, right? Like, who says a heatsink can't be fancy? It comes in a really nice, cool little 3D printed case. Really like it. Yeah, you get El Mirage, you get the hardware, and you get the case, and you get a couple stickers, okay? So, and you're getting that for $6, $6 US, okay? It can't go wrong. Now, looking at their stats, again, I did 625, 1250, right? We did everything the same. They're saying their ASIC temp was about 52.9. Mine was just a little bit higher than that. And then, and again, I tested this on the exact same Bidax Gamma that I tested the Dark Horse on. Okay, Bidax, the El Mirage was tested first, and then the Dark Horse was tested second. So, hey MMD. So yeah, so comparatively, I would say here. Let's see how we can do this. Let's do this little thing. Where's that little? Make it pop up. There we go. That's what I needed. Boom, boom. Okay, putting them side by side. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, so we'll go down here to their stats. All right, and this is where I was at on this one. And this is the benchmarks from Solo Satoshi's Dark Horse on the left, and these are their published stats. Okay, and then over here is my 625 1250 for El Mirage, right? Same style. So, I do notice that they have the automatic fan speed set. My fan, I just keep mine at 100%. So, yeah. Hey, thanks Xtech, appreciate that. It's good to see you guys on here. Yeah, VR Temp 55 versus, let me see, I guess it's the way this is just lining up on that screen, right? Just makes it kind of awkward for me. So, fan speed, DB, and VR Temp. There's their VR Temp. Their VR Temp was 71. I said mine was in like the 60s is where mine came in at with the Dark Horse. And then there's their ASIC temp was about 56.1. Mine was fluctuating between about 56 and 58. Over here on El Mirage, again, guys, same gamma. Just swapped them out. Just swapped out the parts. I used everything the same. I used my the Grizzly thermal paste, the whole nine. Like nothing was different between the two. Same fan, like the exact same fan. I removed the fan and put it on there. So, and I did not use any type of 3D printer add-ons like my little vortex pipes and things like that. It was just the heat sink, the thermal paste, and the fan. Okay, and I used the stock fan, not a Noctua. I know in some of my pictures I showed you the Noctua. That's because I was just like lining it up and testing it at some point. So that's why you guys saw that. So Xtech came in here with the 65 1250, just like where I tested it at. Their ASIC temp was about 52.9. Mine was near close to the same. Okay, it was near close to the same. VR temp 55. Yes, mine was sub 60 VR temp as well. It was probably right around 56, 57 with theirs. And then I just put my fan on auto. So that it is what it is. And mine run quietly, so I'm not too concerned with it. So, that being said, and these are $5.99 a piece, okay? US dollars, US fiat dollars. So, couple things. First of all, I am going to do an overclock test with a gamma that I guess I could say if I lose it, I lose it. It's for science, so that's okay. So I will have another update on the stream next week about it. I'm probably going to do, I'll see what we can do with it. I'm not just going to like full throttle it. I'll make it fair and scientific between the two, and we'll see how it runs. We'll do the same 24-hour test. But overall, if I had to pick right now, if you said to me, Cinco, you got to pick one. I'm holding the proverbial gun to your head. You've got to pick which heatsink you would rather use. I'm going to pick the Xtech. Okay? El Mirage is going to be my winner on this. And there's a few reasons why. Okay? That's not saying Dark Horse is not good. That is not what I'm saying, because it actually is really good. And the fact that all the gammas coming out from Solo Satoshi from here on out will have a Dark Horse on it, that's fantastic. Okay? So that's cool. But a couple things. Price point, it's $1 less. Okay? Is that big in the grand scheme of things? No, but it's still $1 less. Okay? So that's one thing. Cool looks, if we're just doing aesthetics, I like both of them. I think they both look really neat. I love the design of them. I think that El Mirage is cooler looking. It's more just got a cooler look for me. So I think that's neat. And also their contact surface it's just as good as Dark Horse. So like the contact surface on the bottom is nice. Fans attach to El Mirage very easily, just like they do the Dark Horse. I was able to get my fans attached to them with no problem. And I'm actually finding that while my Noctua 40mm does run a little hotter than the stock fan, it's still kept up with El Mirage. It did not do that with the Dark Horse. Okay, so was it still good? Like, would I leave a Noctua on it? Probably not. But it did okay. All right, so just there's that. The one thing that I like on the Dark Horse that has over the Ixtec El Mirage is those plastic pins. And I know that's simply just a personal thing. Like, it's a personal I don't like that. I don't mind threading, screws and bolts and nuts and things like that to get things onto the bit axe. That's not a problem. But just the ease of just me going click, 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 click after I put the thermal paste on. Click, 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 click. It's done. And of course, like I said, Solo Satoshi, they gave me a tube of, they put a tube of thermal paste in there. I didn't use it. I just used my Grizzly, but, cause it's already open. But the fact that they're like, here you go, fans attached, install it. That's cool. So there is a couple things over here that are neat. And again, they're not detractors from each other because they're both really freaking cool. But El Mirage is definitely my winner. And it did overall run cooler, run better, and I got a little bit more juice out of it. I was over 1.3 terahash with El Mirage. So that is definitely my choice. Other things, now I know Solo Satoshi's working on this. They are out of stock right now on Dark Horse. Ixtec has El Mirage. Okay, so that's another thing too. They're available. I'm probably either tonight or tomorrow. I'm probably going to order like 5 or 6 of these suckers because I am going to put them on the Cinco Doggos edition. One of the gammas that we're going to be doing a giveaway that has like my Cinco Doggos stand, as well as it'll have a fan on the front, a fan on the back, and all that. You should do a live. This is from Mike. Let me go back one. JB says, my room is 85 degrees, though. I can't go as hard as I want in the summer. JB, I feel you. I'm in Texas, and I completely feel you. Right now, my big miners, my big boy miners, are mining out in my garage. And honestly, like, it scares me sometimes because it's peaking up against 100 right now, 100 Fahrenheit here. And it's also, I'm outside of Houston, so it's humid here at the same time. High heat and humidity are just, you guys have heard me say it on the streams before. High heat and humidity are not good for miners, right? We would rather that moderate climate and dry, right? Same thing for 3D printing, right? The humidity's not great. Of course, I live in the place that's bad for both. But anyway, and these are my hobbies. But that being said, my gammas and my Q axes and I got a super back there too. They do okay in here until about mid-August. Mid-August, it's going to get tough here because if the temp keeps doing what it normally does, I'm probably going to have to turn my miners off during the day out in the garage, and yeah, I'll just have to keep an eye on it. So I feel you with that. And yeah, that's another reason why I don't like overclocking. Like, if I overclock, maybe I will just do it in the winter. And it's funny how we have to think of things like that, right? It's kind of heat punking it a little bit, heat punking adjacent, where you're like, I can do it in the winter, and it'll just keep the house warm, and that's cool. So Mike said you should do a live where you show how to do the heat sink changes in thermal paste. Actually, I did a video on it. I'm going to publish it this week. I can do a live one. That's not a problem. I have plenty of supplies to do that. What I need to do, honestly, guys, again, like, this is my little game, like my little hobby workshop here, my little office. Let me see if I can it's a little messy right now, but like, that's what I got going on. I need to figure out how I can run my webcam over to, I got to build like I'll 3D print a stand for it so I can put it over on my workbench. So that way I can do that. I can show you guys like what I'm doing, move my microphone and everything over there, or maybe get like a DJI that I can just clip on and then, have the camera moved. So that way I can show you guys like when I'm actively doing things. Right now I use like a phone stand. I'm such a like a Gen X guy. I have a phone stand that I use, and like I put my cell phone. Guys, you're gonna think I'm so retarded. I put my cell phone like this on it, so it's like the camera's aiming down, and that's how I do my videos when I do like my close-up shots on things. Like that's how I do it because I'm corny like that. I don't have a professional setup, but yeah. That is actually, I did do a video that's going to be going up on YouTube that shows me taking off the stock heatsink, cleaning the chip and the board with alcohol prep, cleaning off the base of El Mirage, putting the new thermal paste on, how much to put on, that about a little grain of rice amount, mounting it properly, holding it in place. I use a rubber band when I do it. I just put a rubber band around it very gently, very carefully. It's just to hold it steady. It's not to crunch it while I thread the screws. And then the fan I already had pre-mounted, so that wasn't a problem. And then just, making sure everything's plugged in correctly and turning that sucker on and letting it go, right? And it's interesting because, they both did the same thing, both El Mirage and Dark Horse. And that is when I first turned them on, the heat spiked and then came right back down again. It was the weirdest thing. I guess it was because I just changed everything out and it was like fresh, but it went up and I got real, like my eyes bugged out of my head, and then it went right back down to normal, like doot, 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 doot. So I was like, oh, okay, that was just like a powering up thing, I guess. But kind of scared me for a minute. I was like, oh crap, what did I forget to do? And the one of the things that sometimes I'm like, oh man, if I put those big Geek Pie right there behind my head, the big Geek Pie copper pipe heat sinks, those suckers are heavy. And, then I put a 60 fan on top of it, a 60 millimeter fan. And I like to use the thick barrel fans. I don't necessarily, I have a thin barrel, but I like the thick barrel fans. Well, they're almost twice as heavy. So it pulls the front of the bit axe down as well. And, they sit on a little, I think I got some left. Let me see. Yeah. And these are from Ixtech. I had them print that because I didn't have my printer up at the time. But they sit on this little clippy thing there, and it's real easy for it to just kind of pop off if it's not on there tight. Like if for some reason it doesn't sit right. So I've been putting a touch of glue, just a whisper of glue on the inside of it, and just boop, and that's it, and it's good. Because otherwise they fall off, and then of course it doesn't have a fan blowing on the heatsink, and in the middle of the night it'll spike and burn your stuff out. Do you have the Nerd QX Plus Hydro in your collection yet? Thing is a work of art. I do not have one yet. I would like to get my hands on one. The problem is Cinco has really overspent in the past month and a half, and I need to be careful with spending my money. I need to be socking away a little more, so getting the new toys, I have to wait. Unless I get some kind of deal on something, I've kind of got to wait a little bit. Just, that's just being honest. You know how it is. Times get tough, right? I have medical bills that have caught up with me due to that thing I had going on back at the end of May. So things like that. So we're just trying to be a little careful. Oh, and just so you guys know, if anyone would like to know what my electric bill is, and I'm going to make sure my wife isn't behind. So I run 2 S19s and 6 S9s out of my garage right now. Okay, so please be aware of that. And through Base Power, I get great power prices through them. I'm kind of talking like this because I don't want her to hear me. But my power bill came in for the month, and it was $797.69. Okay, now here's the interesting thing about that. My power cost was $596.67. That other $200 is fees from Centerpoint from allowing Base Power to give me power. Yeah. So, JB, the VA, I had to have emergency gallbladder surgery, and I had to get rushed to the hospital at 3:00 in the morning. And I got to be honest with you, I will never go under the VA knife again. So the hospital I went to over here, St. Luke's in Houston, primo. They took good care of me. I use my regular health insurance through my daily Fiat job. I have very good insurance, but there's still a copay and stuff, so I still had some out of pocket costs. So yeah, but yeah, $795, Mike. $795 is my power bill for the month. Now again, 200 of that is, that in Texas you get to choose your power company. Yeah, but CenterPoint Energy still takes, they take a cut right out of it. Just they have their cut right off the top. So 200 of that is that, and about 250 of the rest of it is my miners. So about 250 a month to run those miners that I have. I'm not counting these little guys, okay? I don't even factor them in. I'm just counting the big boys in the garage, and the medium boys, the S9s in the garage. Now, my S9s, just letting you all know if anyone's interested, my S9s I put better intake fans on them. They get a Noctua intake fan. The S9 gets a 140 millimeter. They normally have a 120 on them. I upgraded to a 140. I put a filter on it. I have a bracket that puts a reusable, washable filter on it. It's just a piece of I don't even know how to put it. It's like a crinkly filament that you put in there, and you can just take it out. You can blow it out with a vacuum hose or a forced air, or you can just wash it. Like I threw it in the dishwasher, and it was fine. I just didn't run it through a heat cycle. Just threw it in the dishwasher. And about once a month I do that, and it collects all the dust. And then on the exhaust side, I put a brand new fan on there as well, and I put a flange so that way you can either kind of focus it out and it quiets it down a little bit, about 5 or 10%, or you can go ahead and attach a dryer hose to it. It has here, I'll show you. I have one printed for another project. So this, I didn't trim the brim off this print yet, so that's why that's on there. But anyway, this attaches to the exhaust side of the S9, right? So even just like this, you can put this attachment on there, and it just helps channel the sound a little bit, so and the air coming out, so it's not as turbulent, so it's a little tiny bit quieter. But this piece here has a ring in it, so that way, hey Bogey, that's Bogey, guys. Come here, Bogues. Come here, buddy. He's always scared. He's scared of everything. You can put a dryer hose on here and run your exhaust out of your home. So that's all of mine have that. They also have the here. I think I could pull it up over here. Let me see. I'm on the X-Tech website. Let me find it. Give me 1 second here, and let me show this because you guys should see this. For people that are like, all these upgrades, but I don't have a 3D printer. Just go to X-Tech. These guys are awesome about it. They only charge you shipping for all these things. That's amazing that they do that. That's such a nice thing to do. So they've got all that right on there. You just click on their 3D printing page, and that's that. So pretty cool stuff right there. Now let me see here. Spelled accessories wrong, X-Tech. Let me see, home mining parts, is that where this is? So look, you can get like this, like they've got air filters on here as well. I mean, replacement filters. That's an 8-inch ASIC inline fan shroud. So that's like for like an S19, I think, right there. Is that how that works? I think that was an S19. You've got your board controllers on here if you want to go ahead and do some cool stuff, some Loki stuff. Here it is. So I also have one of these on each of my S9s. Okay, one of these little huggy boys. There it is. One of these little huggy boys. It's like a caddy for your power supply. So they each have one of that. The whole reason why I'm saying this, I'm going to be selling my S9s if anyone is interested in them. Probably going to go for about $200 a piece. Okay, just because I do have upgrades and put new fans and all that stuff on them. So they're in better condition than when I got them. So they'll be going up I'll be hawking those soon. If somebody's interested in them, just let me know. Okay, hey, we're going to do our second giveaway now. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me get it ready. Y'all ready? Hold on 1 second. Pulling this up. Do. All right, get your phones ready. Get ready to scan. Mike, I'll answer your question in 1 minute. Where'd it go? There it is. See, Bitcoin Whale doesn't stay up. It closes itself out for safety. So I got to relog back in every time we do this. That's why it takes a minute. Okay, here we go, guys. Get ready. All right. Second giveaway coming up right now. Where is it? Uh-oh. Try that again. Oh, it's taking the points away from me. I can see it. Here we go. Okay. There you go, guys. 430 more SATs. Go ahead and scan it. While we're waiting on that, Mike said, do you think it's fine to use compressed air can to blow off dust on bit axes and clean them? I do. I actually use... Oh, let me grab it. There's various different ones you can find on like Amazon, but I just put in like USB-C rechargeable forced air or compressed air. And I'm going to wait till somebody says they got it or that it's gone, that I told them it's been claimed before I drop the screen. So I looked that up, just, again, USB-C chargeable compressed air keyboard cleaner. And these devices came up, and they're super awesome, and I really like it. The one I have, I don't think they make anymore because, it's Amazon, so a lot of those little companies, like, they do something for a day, and then they sell their product, and then that's it. They're gone. All right, I'm going to leave this up for like 30 more seconds, and then I'm minimizing it down. Didn't get it, but it's gone. Thanks, JB. Appreciate it. Okay, let me move this over to here. Right over to there. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll bring up full screen again real quick so I can tell you what I'm talking about. It's one of these little things, okay? It's got a, how much air do you want to come out, the pressure. It's a USB-C charge, and I'll tell you, when you put it on full, you'll blow a Bitcoin right off a shelf, okay? So, Dragon Mining, sounds good, man. If you follow me on X, just send me a DM when you get some time, so that way that's in there, so I can reach out to you when that time comes. It's probably going to be like next week. So I can let you guys know what's up, all right? So anybody who DMs me about it, you'll get a heads up first. So yeah, this little thing, if you put it on full and crank it, I mean, you're gonna leaf blower your Gamma right off the shelf. I'll tell you that right now. I actually broke a Noctua fan. It's one of these on accident. I didn't realize I had bumped it all the way up, and when you got to hold the button down for 3 seconds before it goes on. I'll show you. It's pretty loud. Let me start it low first. So they're pretty loud, all right? But you got to hold it for 3 seconds first, and I think they do that so you don't accidentally like blow something off a shelf. But hey, folks. Oh, that's Dougie. So yeah, it was like $25 on Amazon. There's all different companies that sell these. What's up, bud? Why is your head all slobbery? You guys wrestling again? So yeah, but I use this. I put it on a like low, and I'll just turn the pressure up, the power up as I need to, and I turn the bit axe off, of course. I put my finger on the fan when I do it. I'll give you kind of an example here. Just when I clean them, I just put my finger on the fan, so that way the fan blades don't, get blown around and rotate by themselves. I don't want to cause any drag on that. And then I just blow through the sides of the heatsink and I clean it out. That's really about it. I check them at least once a week, and then I clean them. I got 5 dogs, guys, 5 doggos, right? I got 5 dogs. My house gets a little dusty. It gets a little hairy from all the huskies. So I'm not saying my fans get clogged with it. That would be disgusting. But stuff flies around, right? So I clean mine about every 2 weeks. I just take one offline, and while I'm at work, while I have a little downtime, I'll go ahead and, blow them out and then switch them out with another one. I just go through them and cycle through and clean them. I am making a grill for my for my Nerd QX++. Those fans the way that it came doesn't have a guard over it. It's right there next to my Warhammer 40K Space Marines. So it gets a little funky, and so I'm making a fan guard, a 3D printed fan guard for those that I'm going to put over it, and that way it'll try to catch some of that. But Yeah, I mean, it's super simple to take care of it. JB says, I have one of those too, but a different brand. It works great. Good for filling up pool floats too. Yes, it is. And this little sucker, at a full charge, I'm telling you, I can fill an air mattress with it. Like, no lie. And it has different nozzles that you can put on it. So you can do different, like, configurations of how you want the air to come out. And mine came with came in like a little black velvet bag, and it had like some little cleaning toothbrushes and things like that. And I actually ended up using those cleaning toothbrushes for the extruder head on my 3D printer. Like, I'll use it to kind of just make sure that's clean. So yeah, I mean, cool stuff. Yeah, man, I've been into 40K since just a little history of Cinco here. When I was a young lad growing up in New Jersey, in the early 90s, my best friend Mike and I, our whole thing to do was to go up to our local hobby shop that was owned by this guy Gary. He was one of the local firefighters. He had gone to school with my older sister, and he owned a train store. Like, he sold hobby trains, as well as like he dabbled in role playing games, and then he got a Warhammer 40K official stand and was one of their official retailers for a while. This is back in the early 90s, and all of a sudden, like, all these kids and these adults were coming out of the woodwork and playing Warhammer 40K, and he became a full-blown local gaming store. And I ended up working for him. One of my first jobs and my longest job in high school was I worked for him, and we traveled around the country in the summer. As a teenager, I traveled around the country with my boss and my best friend, and we went to like Star Trek conventions and hobby conventions, and we set up a booth and we sold things. So like, I've met William Shatner, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, every cast of every Star Trek show you can think of, all of it. I've had dinner at Planet Hollywood with Marina Sirtis and her husband, with a group of people. It wasn't like just me. I was like 17 years old at the time. So anyway, I was really big into 40K as a kid, and when these Joy Toys models came out, these larger statues, I was like, these are cool, and I've been getting them. So yeah, that's my ADHD kicking in, guys. Those were the glory days, going to the hobby shop, picking up some minis and painting them. Absolutely. I remember I played Space Orcs, and I had an army. This is back during the Dark Millennium times. I know people are probably going to sleep here, the Bitcoiners are like, you stupid nerds, what are you talking about? But I'll be quick with this. And then we'll do another giveaway. There was going to be they were having a competition. They were going to give away like $150 worth of Warhammer 40K merchandise, which back in the early 90s, that was a lot of money. That was some good miniatures. So I was running a Space Orc army, and this was during the time called Dark Millennium, I think it was called. It was like one of the first expansions of 40K. And anyway, one of the features of it was you can play a tactics card that allowed you to take one unit off the board and put them away as a flanking unit. And on the second or third round, you can choose to have them come out from the side of the board. Okay? So I had these little creatures called Gretchen, right? They're little tiny, like, goblins that fight for the orcs. They have horrible aim. They have no health, but you can have hordes of them. So all the starter boxes back then came with like 20 Gretchen, 10 orcs, and 10 Space Marines, something like that. Okay. Well, most people bought the starter kit. They kept the 10 Space Marines, and they'd like chuck the orcs and the Gretchen. And I'd say, give them to me. I'll take them. They were cheap minis, and I was a teenager. So they'd give them to me. Right. Hold on. Let me go over to Twitch real quick. I got to ban this dude. And sorry, I got somebody spamming in my chat, so anyway. Okay, so back to that. So anyway, so they would give them to me. So I had hundreds of these Gretchen. Well, the largest unit you can go to with Gretchen at the time was 100 units. So I took 100 Gretchen. I painted them the night before. Me and my buddy Mike, cans of spray paint, white, green, red. Because they had to have 3 colors of paint on them or they didn't count. You couldn't use them. That was the rule. So we get there the next day. I'm playing against the Space Wolves. I took my 100 Gretchen, one unit, moved them off the side of the board, and they were going to be a flanking unit. This guy rushes all his Space Marines in on the first 2 turns. The end of the second turn, I bring out my 100 Gretchen from the side, and I just steamroll the guy with the little tiniest, cheapest, crappiest unit in the game. And I just steamrolled them. And you know what? They gave the win to him because they didn't want an orc to win. So that hurts. I'm 46 years old, and that still hurts. Okay, now that you had to listen to that stupid story, let's do a giveaway. You ready? We got 2 more to go, guys. 2 more to go. All right. Here we go. Get your cameras ready. The next one will be in about 12 minutes after this. Ooh, 632 sats. That's more than we've gotten lately. So, getting closer to $1 worth. So I'll leave that up for a minute while you guys are scanning. And, okay, so yeah, going back to Bitcoin, going back to BitAxes, going back to miners. My wife orange-pilled her mom. Okay, her mom's in her late 70s. She is obviously of retirement age. And she is moving back into her house. She was in like an elder community, like one of those 55 and up communities. She didn't like it. She owns real estate. She's moving back into her house. And so we're getting her set up to move again, to move back home. And someone got it. All right, cool. Congrats to whoever won it. Thanks, JB, for letting me know. Move that off to the side. And I'm going to go full screen for a minute. So she was talking to her mom about savings, and she didn't set out to do it. It just kind of came up organically. Apparently, my mother-in-law was like, I need to do something with my money. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel safe right now. And she was like, well, and my wife was like, well, we're doing Bitcoin. You should really think about that. And she was like, oh, so and so in the family did that, and they were able to use it to buy a house and all this. Maybe it is something I should look at. So Sunday I went over there. We were helping her box up to move, and while we were boxing up, I just talked to her about it. And I started at the beginning. I talked about who Satoshi was, what we know about who he or they were, the value in the fact that he's not around, they're not around and involved anymore, and how that is actually a positive. Talked about how easy it is. I showed her on my phone about how easy it is to get a wallet. I talked to her about cold storage to make sure she does it the right way. And basically we talked. She asked really good questions, and she was super excited about it. So she said, can you please come over this week? And, I'm going to start with $100. I'll buy $100. You can put it in cold storage in my wallet for me. Show me how to do that, and then I can take it from there. And she's smart. She'll be able to do it. She'll be able to handle it herself. And she'll know to keep her key safe. And if she's even worried about something, she'll just call me so I can check in on her. But anyway, so we did that. Now she said, "Well, I heard you mine as well. What's that?" So I talked to her about Virgin Bitcoin and mining pools, and possibly hitting a block. And so we will also be installing a couple S19s in her garage after she moves in as well. So it's really cool. I'm excited that she's, in her mid to late 70s, and I'm going to hook her up to my Ocean datum pool, and she's going to have 2 S19s mine and sats for Virgin Bitcoin going into her cold storage. So, that's if a lady, if a widowed lady in her 70s can be a miner in her house, what excuses do other people have? That's all I gotta say, right? And I didn't even need to start her off on a gamma. She jumped right to, with the power in my house, what will it cost me, and what will it cost me monthly, what's my return on investment, and how long till it pays off. So we went through that, and I showed her. If you guys have seen my video from the past, next giveaways in 7 minutes, guys, just so you know. I just went through, if you saw my past videos, I just kind of pulled up eBay, and I was showing her, you can get an S19 for about $350, in good condition. And, we could slap that out there. She's like, okay, I'll take 2. And I was like, well, we should start you off with 1. And she's like, no. She's like, if 1 makes this much, and it costs this much, and, the monthly power charge is this much, then my profit is this much, then 2 doubles that. And I was like, yeah, effectively it does. And then she had caught on, because she said, okay, and that's at today's price, and the price keeps going up. So that means it's actually the return on investment is, the time frame for it is going down because they're worth more. I said, you got it. You got it. So, but yeah, so Hey, JB, you know what? As long as you guys are safe and that way it doesn't matter if you're being safe, then that's all that matters. If you're cognizant of where weaknesses are and you're doing things to mitigate someone being able to hinder that, whatever, man, that works. I'm for it. But yeah, I just me myself and I when I do it, I just and this I'm not saying this is the only way to do it because you guys know me. That's not my way. I go to Bitcoin Well. I buy Bitcoin. I shoot it over. It goes to cold storage. So that's just how for me it's a nice process. I also sometimes buy through Fold, just because I have an automatic purchase setup with that too. I do like Fold's benefits right now, and I'm good for it. I'm not a big fan of Gemini, so I'm not using them. But yeah, so whatever works as long as people are aware and cognizant, and you're like anything else. A good analogy, and this is an analogy that I use with some people because they're like, well, why am I just going to sit on it? What if I do want to use it? And I say, well, you can. And that's just like having meat. Okay. So like you go to the grocery store, you buy meat. If you're going to buy meat for the future, and I hope this makes sense, you guys can make fun of me in chat if this is retarded. If you buy meat, right, you need it to eat. You need it to live. You're going to get your meat or you're going to get your food. But you need food to last a while because you're not going to just buy for today. We're not hunting and gathering for today. We sock away for the future, right? So you take that meat, you take that food, you put it in either the refrigerator, on the shelf, the refrigerator, or the freezer, right? So if it's going like on the counter or the shelf because you're going to eat it now, okay, no problem. You want that accessible. If you're going to need it sometime soon, you put it in the fridge. But if you're not going to need it anytime soon and you want to keep it safe so that way, power goes out or whatever, it doesn't just instantly rot, you keep it in the freezer. It's kind of the analogy I like to use with people when I talk about how you do storage, right? So I keep, the majority of my stuff in cold storage. I do have some like a Lightning account, some other things that I have. I call it my play SATS. That's my SATS that I play with. I use for giveaways. If I'm going to buy a Gamma from Pleb Source or Solo Satoshi or Xtech or something like that, and that way I can, send it out to somebody because they want a prize. I use that account. I don't go to my cold storage, obviously. So that's just the way I look at it, is you just got different tiers of how it works. Yeah, Mike says same thing. He uses Bitcoin Well straight to cold storage. JB says I just don't trust that my wife can use the cold storage, especially while grieving. I've tried to teach her, but it's like a foreign language. That's a good point, and I'm actually going to do an episode on that. Okay, that's something that as I get older, and when I had that medical thing last month where my gallbladder tried to kill me, not exaggerating, like my gallbladder tried to kill me. I have a book. And it's a notebook that I bought, and the cover says, I'm dead, now what? And it's basically like a pre-need in that situation where and guys, honestly, I learned how to do this from my dad. Okay? So 4 days ago was the second anniversary of my dad passing. My dad had congestive heart failure. My dad was 84 years old, so he lived a good long life. Okay? But he when he died, my mom was a chef. She owned her own restaurant. My mom's a very smart lady, but she didn't know like where certain things were. You know what I mean? Like there's things, if you're married or in a long-term relationship, you all know this. Like I've got some like passwords on accounts that my wife doesn't know. She wouldn't know how to get into that. And it's not that I'm hiding it from her. It's just like, it's not necessary for her to get into it. Right. So my dad had these notes. He put little pieces of paper and he wrote important things down as he thought about them. And he put them into this envelope and then put it in their little house, like their important document safe. When my father passed away, my mother had to pull out, they had a pre-need for, his cremation and all that. So she had to go in and he had all that stuffed in the envelope with it. So when she opened that, it had bank account numbers for her. It had everything she needed to be able to get into everything they needed. Phone numbers to call for, different benevolent groups that, things like that. So that's the type of book that I actually got one, and now I'm filling it out for my wife, because same thing, JB, if I pass away suddenly, you don't want somebody trying to like struggle to just try to figure out the basics of things. I want them to be able to have it. And we've got multiple safes and multiple hiding spaces for our stuff. Some aren't even in the state of Texas, which is cool. I'm a little paranoid with things like that. So like there's areas that our stuff is that like she'll know to go to if she needs to. So anyway, that's a good point, JD. I'm glad you, JB. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, guys, here we go. Another drawing. Here we go, because we're coming up on an hour. So here it is. You ready? I'm doing it quick. Wishing well. 492 SATS. Grab it, grab it, grab it. Yep, Cinco is a prepper. That comes from my military background, Mike. Excuse me. Being a submariner. Oh, I don't know if you can see it above my head. It's kind of far away. Right there, I 3D printed my second submarine that I was on, USS Topeka. I 3D printed it right there. It's up on my shelf. So, but yeah, I'm not like a hardcore prepper. I used to be. I used to be really into it. Oh, it's not on screen. Oh crap, guys! I'm sorry. I am so tarded. Thanks, Mike. There you go. There we go. Sorry. Derp. There we go. Thanks, Mike. That's everybody. That's my show engineer and producer, Mike, over there. honorary producer and engineer, because he's telling me when I'm doing stupid stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I printed out my submarine, but yeah, from my military stuff, I try to make sure that I've got everything. And I grew up, believe it or not, even as a Jersey boy, I did grow up hunting. I was a bow hunter. Got my first bow when I was 7. Got my first rifle at 22 when I was 8. I shot my first deer. It was a button buck when I was 9. Somebody got it. Gotcha. Thanks, guys. All right, that is the last drawing for the night. So now we're just going to kind of do a little wrap up here. So congrats to all the winners. Let me go ahead and go back over here. But yeah, I do try to prep if I can. So all right, guys. Tonight we talked about 2 really cool pieces of simple open source miner tech. We've got Dark Horse from Solo Satoshi. Both of these are awesome. Cool, easy to push pins. Comes with the fan pre-installed. They give you the thermal paste. $6.99 on their website. Currently sold out, but I think there's a thing where you can click it for the email, so you can be told when it's back in stock. And then El Mirage doesn't come like this. I added that Noctua and the air channel there, the Vortex. But El Mirage, $5.99. Ixtech website is in stock. That's ixtech.xyz. It is in stock. $5.99. Ships fast, and comes in its own cool little case. Gives you the hardware you need for it. You'll just need your own thermal paste and your own fan. Again, at this time, I do not recommend using a Noctua on either of these. Right now, they don't keep up as much with it. So I'll be experimenting with other fan types and seeing what I can figure out, see if there is something that's a cool combo. But yeah, cool tech, guys. That is an easy ass, cheap ass, worthwhile upgrade. Whether you're grabbing the Dark Horse or the Ixtech, it's worth it. Now again, all the Solo Satoshi gammas, my understanding moving forward, will ship with a Dark Horse. So there's that. You get that, so you'll get that day one. But if you've got some gammas laying around, give those El Mirage a try. They are sweet. It is definitely cool and worth it. And you really don't need anything special to do it. I mean, it just anchors right on there. You don't need special adapters like the Geek Pi and all that stuff need. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Okay, so some upcoming stuff. I will do. I'm gonna be releasing my video in a day or two. I still got some editing to do on the actual build. Me building the modding the gammas with the heat sinks and the fans. So I'll post that video here today or tomorrow or the next day. So Thursday or Friday. I work Saturday, so I won't be doing anything then. I have off Sunday, Monday. So probably Sunday I'll do another live stream. Okay, and that live stream we will do giveaways on the 4th. That is, let me see here. Coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. August 4th, coming up. we will do the giveaway for the Gamma that I have. That's on X. So if you follow me at Cinco Doggos on X.com, there's a simple contest. It's like a like, follow type of contest. It's real simple. And then that way you can get in on winning a Gamma. And there's some other stuff I'm going to do. I have little swag bags I'm working on. Underneath my desk over here that you guys cannot see, I have a brand new Cricut Maker 4. I just need to get a new printer so that way I can start printing Cinco Doggos stickers, Cinco Doggos t-shirts, Cinco Doggos hats. So if you guys want them, I will have them. It probably won't be like a big Cinco Doggos thing. It'll have something like this, like a Satoshi quote on it. And then I'll have Cinco Doggos on the sleeve is probably how I do it. So kind of like grunt style, like Ranger Up, like I'll put the Cinco Doggos emblem on the sleeve and then I'll have like something on the front to make it cool. So yeah, really going to keep, giving away everything that I can, guys. Everything I get my hands on. When if I get approached by anybody that gives me stuff to give away, I give it right to you guys. I don't keep it for myself. Pleb Source, they've sponsored 5 Gammas to give away. Okay, so just think about that. Like, I've got 5 Gammas to give away to you guys, shipped direct to your house from Pleb Source. So, and they just gave that to me. Here, give these away. So I was like, wow, thank you. So yeah, I'll be doing stuff as I get stuff. I don't keep it for myself. I give it away. The El Mirage, I bought that. It was well worth it. I'm good. Like I said, I'm going to get a couple to add some more to my stuff, and I'm going to get a couple to give away. Solo Satoshi did provide me with the Dark Horse. Okay, they sent this over to me. I'm real close to them. They probably could have thrown it from their front porch, and I could have caught it. But yeah, that the Dark Horse they did supply to me, and thank you very much for that. They wanted me to be able to test it. I will be, when they come in stock, I will be buying some of those as well to put on some of my stuff, as well as to do giveaways with. So when I give away Gammas, I'll be putting a El Mirage or a Dark Horse on them to send to the winners for those who choose to do so. And that will be folks who want to do the Cinco Doggos edition, which comes with the Cinco Doggos style case. So you've got the room for your Gamma or your Supra, plus a place to anchor a fan for the back behind the voltage regulator. So if you win from me, it's your choice. You'll be able to get the case if you want it, or I'll probably, for a few people, I'll do the whole Gamma with the new heat sink, with the better thermal paste, with a fan, and then with a rear Noctua fan, a rear 40 millimeter Noctua fan to cool off the back of it. So you'll get a whole unit right there, and probably a little bit of vortex air on there as well. I'll print one of those out. But I also been doing little custom fan grills as well to put over things. Been experimenting with that. So like for the guys at Parasite Pool, I'm making biohazard ones. Okay, things like that. So just cool little stuff. Got some with American flags on and stuff. I'm trying to do it as minimalist as possible so it doesn't restrict airflow. So that's the hardest thing, is like, this is no problem because it's just a couple wavy lines. But some of them, like, they get too bulky. So not doing that. But anyway, that's that. I am going to go hang out with my dogs and my wife. Okay? I'm going to go spend some time with my fam. I'm probably going to give my daughter a call. She's out of state at college. She's up in Denver. So I want to see how she's doing. And yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you. 134 people in here right now. I appreciate every single one of you for coming out. If you are watching me on Twitch, if you could please go ahead and follow me. If you are a Prime member, Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription every month. It doesn't cost you anything to do this. If you subscribe to me with you hit the subscribe button on there and you hit for Prime, that helps me, and it doesn't take any money out of your pocket. So I would appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate you. Really appreciate that. I'm still trying to get up to 500 followers on YouTube, so that way I can hopefully start getting that monetized soon, because I'll take that money and I will turn it right back around to you guys and do giveaways with it. And then, of course, my mainstays, my great people on X, my X community. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all that you do. If you do not follow me on X, you're on one of the other platforms, I would advise maybe go ahead and follow me on X, because I do a lot of my giveaways and announcements on X, and those folks know first. So, and some things are just on X because it's easier for me. So you might want to follow me on X. It's at Cinco Doggos. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat just so you know. It's this right here. Hold on a second. I think this will take you right to my... That'll take you right to my X page. So there's that. Put it in chat for you. Cinco Doggos. Anyway, that's that. I really appreciate y'all. Have a great night. We'll do another live stream on Sunday. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet. Maybe I'll do, if I can figure out the camera thing, Mike, maybe I'll do the build. I'll do a complete mod from tearing down the Bidax Gamma to, just the board and the chip and all that. And then, putting fresh thermal paste, new heat sink, new fan, new rear fan, and on the new stand. And then, some type of a 3D printed hooby-dooby device to make things run a little smoother. So, and yeah, just so you guys know, people have asked, like, does this thing do anything? Yeah, it kind of channels the air. It makes it a little less chaotic going in there, and it kind of creates its own little vortex. And it has actually cooled about a degree cooler that I've noticed. One, maybe two, but 1 degree cooler for definite. And it even runs quieter. So, which Noctuas are near silent anyway, so it's even running quieter than that. So, anyway, that's that. I appreciate y'all. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. I told you I'd only keep you for an hour, but thank you guys. This is Cinco.